Hi, and welcome back to Lisa's Stamp Studio. My name is Lisa Curcio. My Fun Fold series continues, and today I have an adorable twisted gatefold card. Here's the card we're going to be creating today, and you'll be able to see how it twists to open. I'll give you a good close-up when we get over to the stamp table. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I would love to encourage you to subscribe. Go ahead and click the subscribe button down below, and next to it you're going to see a small bell icon. If you click that as well, you'll get notifications of when I'm live on YouTube, as well as when I upload a new video. Let's head over to the stamp table and let's get started on today's Fun Fold card. Here's a good close-up of the card we're going to be creating together today. Isn't it an image adorable? That's from a stamp set called New Wonders. But let's talk about the fold. So it twists and it opens. The name of this fold is the Twisted Gate Fun Fold. It's very simple to put together. Let's get started. You're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 7 1/2. I'm using blueberry bushel. I'm also going to bring in my trimmer that has a scoring blade on it. If you're using a regular scoring tool, that's totally fine. Even a ruler and a pencil works great. The first score line is going to be at 2 1/2 inches. So I'm going to line that up here near at the top, and I'll score at 2 1/2 inches. Then I'm going to move over to 5 inches and do the same thing. That's it for the vertical score lines. Then we're going to score on the exact same angle on these two panels that are on each end. So from here to that first score line, and then from here to here on this score line. Let me show you how I've lined it up, and then I'll show you the template I created to make it easier for you to see. I'm looking to make sure the point of my cardstock is inside my track, and I'm going to pivot this bottom half to make sure that's also inside the track. Now, if you don't have a scoring attachment on your trimmer, you can use your bone folder right down inside the track. Let me just simulate that for you. So you can just come right down here and score. Once I have that in place, I'll go ahead and score. I think you might be able to see that score line here. You want this next panel score line to go in the exact same direction that this one is. So I'm going to keep it on the same angle, and I'm going to line up the top here near the score line and the bottom tip near my score line. Once I have those aligned, I'll go ahead and score again. Here's the template I promised that I'd show you. So I think you can get a better idea now. So you've got two vertical score lines here, one at 2 1/2, one at 5, and then from this corner to the first score line on both of these panels, one on the right and one on the left. Make sure you hang with me to the end of the video. I have an additional sample besides the one I'm going to demonstrate for you today that I want to share with you. We're going to come in with our bone folder because we're going to want nice crisp creases. Once those are scored, we're going to come in and we are going to score the outside panels as well. So this part here at the top is going to stay forward, what we call a mountain fold. So this is going to come backwards like this, and then you're going to press. And then this one, that one will come towards you. Again, this is called a mountain fold when it comes to a peak here, and then we'll score that as well. Now you can see where the twist comes into this gatefold. Now let's talk about the Designer Series paper panels. I'm using the beautiful Perennial Essence Designer Series paper. Lots of pretty patterns here, and the alternate side of this double-sided paper is quite plain, so you can use it for lots of different occasions, which is exactly what I've done here. I took a piece of designer paper cut 2 1/4 by 3 7/8, and I cut it on the angle. And then one is going to fit here, and the other is going to fit down here. I cut an additional panel the exact same size, also cut on the diagonal, so that these panels can go here and can go here. Now I want to call your attention to something. If you choose Designer Series paper that has a direction in the pattern, it's going to be important that you flip some of the paper over so that you have a mirrored image when you're all finished. You'll need to do a little experimenting just to get the hang of that at home. Let's go ahead and attach these pieces. Since I'm going to be working with very narrow areas of Designer Series paper here on the points, I'm going to use my silicone craft sheet. I absolutely love this in my stamp studio because I'm able to get adhesive all the way in those corners without having it fall on my work surface. Adhesive, hot glue, and even liquid glue will not stick to this silicone craft sheet. So I'm working around the perimeter and I'm making small sections of adhesive. Once I have that in place, I'm going to go ahead and open up this bottom panel, and I'll adhere this. I intended this to have a small border of the cardstock color showing around it. Now we'll do the same thing now on the other side with this piece. This one now will go on the front underneath. Now let's work on the inside. I cut a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This is 2 1/4 by 4 inches. Remember, you're going to find all the cutting dimensions down in the video description below if you are here visiting from YouTube. I'm going to be using my Memento Black ink pad, and I've pulled out the words from that New Wonders stamp set. Isn't this adorable? I could not resist these cute faces. Really, really different, and it really has some great script greetings inside to cover just about all the occasions you can think of. I'm inking up the stamp that says "Just Popping In to Say," and I'll stamp that here near the top. And then I'm pulling out the additional greeting that says "Thank you." The great thing about the stamp set is you're able to build the phrases. Now that that's stamped, let's go ahead and add adhesive to the back of this as well. That'll get adhered to the center of the card base. Now let's work on the focal point image for the front. I chose to color my image in using Stampin' Blends. I've done an entire video series on how to use these. So I've stamped the image using the Memento ink, which is going to be your ink pad of choice when you're using an alcohol-based marker. This is a water-based pad which will not bleed or interact. This image can be colored in using lots of different coloring mediums. You can watercolor, use colored pencils, or even watercolored pencils. I also added some Dazzling Diamonds glitter to those wings with a little bit of fine tip glue, and a couple to the sparkles here as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to adhere that to a layer of the same base color cardstock, which is the Blueberry Bushel. When you're using alcohol-based markers, it is very common that you have some bleeding to the back side. That's why you want to use a good quality paper. The Whisper White cardstock is an absolute amazing product for alcohol-based markers. You'll notice that you'll be able to blend easier as well as get a more vibrant image. Once our image is ready, you can go ahead and adhere this to the front. You can use any image that you'd like and any size piece of paper that you'd like, just as long as it doesn't extend past the size of the tips here. This does fit in a standard medium size envelope, which is an A2 envelope. I'm going to adhere my image here. So I'm going to work with a couple dimensionals right inside this area because I want to make sure they don't hang over to the back side or on the inside of my card. So I'm going to flip that over once again, and with my full-size dimensionals, I'm going to ready those on my finger, and I'm going to get one more good look at where those are going to go. So they're going to go on an angle here, and then I'll place one more here. And I just want to make sure that when I adhere this, they're not going to show, and it looks good. And then I'll take off that paper backing. I have my fingers in an area to help make me mindful of where those dimensionals are. And then once I'm happy with its placement, I'll just tack it down. So you can see here that it's not visible, as well as it not being visible from the inside. Once it's put together, you'll see that you have a twisted gatefold here in the center. I stamped an envelope with a small greeting, and then I wanted to show you how well this fits inside. You'll want the 2 points to be near the top, and then your envelope will seal very nicely. I also have an additional sample for you. This one uses the Floral Essence stamp set. This coordinates with that same designer series paper. Believe it or not, these are from the exact same pack of paper, just a different print. I used a regular inked image, and I used a sponge dauber to add a little extra dimension of color there. Same exact fold. This one I opted to leave empty on the inside so I can customize my sentiment based on who I will be sending it to. But there you go. You have 2 very simple samples of the Twisted Gate Fun Fold card. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. It makes them and I both very happy. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment below on which one is your favorite. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.